Stop everything you're doing right now because what I discovered this morning will completely change how you see January's weather. This Tuesday, January 6th, 2026, a massive ridge is creating what I'm calling the false spring, and millions of you are being deceived. We're dealing with record-breaking warmth that's fueling a growing storm risk, but here's what most people don't realize about what's coming next. Before I reveal this game-changing pattern, drop your exact location in the comments and tell me, are you enjoying this warm weather, or does it feel wrong for January? What I'm about to show you explains why winter is far from over, despite temperatures that will blow your mind today. We've got severe storms, flooding threats, and yes, significant snow all brewing in this deceptive weather pattern. Starting with this absolutely incredible temperature anomaly that's fooling millions of Americans as I speak to you. Temperatures are running 25 to 40 degrees above average across the central and eastern United States right now. It genuinely feels like Easter in many places rather than the beginning of January. But here's why that's dangerous. Enjoy these warm temperatures while you can, because this false spring peaks today and tomorrow before reality hits hard. We're talking about April-like warmth spreading from the Great Plains to the Ohio Valley and eventually the East Coast. But the transition from this back to winter reality is going to trigger some absolutely significant storms. Let me show you these mind-blowing temperatures. South Texas will hit the 80s tomorrow, while Oklahoma City reaches the 70s. St. Louis, you could very well reach 70 degrees, and Nashville, the same extraordinary warmth is heading your way. Even Columbus, Ohio will see temperatures around 50 degrees, which is going to feel absolutely incredible for January 6th. Chicago, you're looking at 53 to 54 degrees, but the places that will really feel this are Nebraska and Iowa. In the comments right now, tell me what temperature you're experiencing and whether this feels normal or bizarre to you. Some of these remarkable warm temperatures will reach all the way into North Dakota. 53 degrees up there is absolutely wild. And heading into the deep south, this is where we've got those genuine April-like temperatures taking hold. 70s, upper 70s, even lower 80s stretching through Atlanta, South Carolina, and North Carolina will be in the 70s. Here's a question for you. What's your biggest weather concern for the next 2 weeks given this dramatic pattern change? But here's the critical part. These warm temperatures are acting like fuel for what's about to become a major weather event. What goes up must come down, and this massive ridge is acting like a magnet pulling rich Gulf moisture into the Mississippi Valley. The impacts feel pleasant right now, but that's absolutely deceptive. This moisture return will trigger significant storms. Behind those storms, the air will turn dry and cold again, bringing us back to the reality of January weather. To understand what's about to unfold in the east, we must look toward the west, where the atmospheric engine is currently unleashing massive snow. A powerful Pacific system is absolutely hammering the Cascades, Olympics, and Northern Rockies with snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour. We're talking about systems dumping up to several feet in the higher elevations, driven by an intense 160-knot jet streak. This is transferring massive amounts of moisture and creating incredibly impactful conditions across the West Coast. Let me show you these absolutely crazy snowfall totals. Most of this affects really high elevations, but the numbers are staggering. We're looking at 50 to 60 inches over in Oregon, with some places near Seattle potentially breaking 70 inches. That's incredible snowpack piling up in these mountains, while the valleys deal with rain and some flooding concerns. Tell me in the comments, would you rather deal with 70 inches of snow or the severe weather threat we're about to discuss? Once that trough settles in the west, it's going to dramatically amplify the ridge in the east. Cold air and warm air working together will produce thunderstorms starting as early as tomorrow. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a marginal risk for severe weather affecting Texas and Oklahoma from Wednesday into Thursday. The main threats here include isolated large hailstones and isolated pockets of damaging winds. While the tornado threat starts very low, it actually increases slightly as we move into Thursday. This represents just the beginning stages of what will become the severe side of this major storm system. Thursday into Friday brings a much larger and more expansive marginal risk that will affect millions. Dallas will likely see this in the early morning hours, then Memphis later, including Little Rock, Springfield, and Shreveport during the day. But here's where this storm really shows its teeth. Friday brings the most significant severe weather threat. We're looking at a slight risk covering a massive area from eastern Texas through Arkansas and into Tennessee. This includes major population centers like Dallas, Little Rock, Memphis, Nashville, and potentially Louisville. The tornado threat becomes much more concerning on Friday, especially across Arkansas, Tennessee, and southern Kentucky. Drop your city in the comments right now and tell me how prepared your area is for severe weather in January. Here's what makes this particularly dangerous. Most people aren't thinking about tornadoes in January, so it's time to wake up. My biggest concern with this system is the warm sector. That green area in front of the cold front is remarkably wide. Typically this time of year, we see very narrow, warm sectors, but this one's thickness is absolutely incredible. This wide open warm sector gives much more room for supercells to form ahead of the main line. There is significantly more potential for severe weather when you have this kind of atmospheric setup. The severe weather threat might actually increase as we get closer to the event, so stay alert. If you're in the Arkansas region, right now is the time to review your severe weather plans. Don't wait until warnings are issued Friday night. We will likely be providing live coverage on Friday as this potentially dangerous situation unfolds. Beyond wind and tornadoes, there's a hidden dual threat developing that depends entirely on where you live. We're tracking a significant flood risk Thursday into Friday with two distinct danger zones across the country. The first danger zone centers around Chicago, where frozen ground will create near 100% runoff immediately. While it's not a massive amount of rain, it's more than typically falls on frozen ground in such a short time period. The soil will act like concrete, causing all the rainfall to run directly into creeks and streams, potentially causing flooding. Our second threat area extends from the Tennessee Valley into eastern Kentucky and the Appalachian Mountains. This region will experience persistent training thunderstorms producing heavy rainfall, potentially over 4 inches in some locations. Comment below and tell me, which threat concerns you more? Severe weather, flooding, or the snow potential we're about to discuss? The two major hotspots show a couple inches falling on frozen ground from Chicago into Michigan. Even more concerning is the area from northern Alabama through the Smoky Mountains into southeastern Kentucky. This region could experience genuine flash flooding in the mountains, which is always particularly dangerous. The Weather Prediction Center has issued a slight risk of excessive rainfall from Huntsville, Alabama to Columbus, Mississippi. This risk extends toward Knoxville and Chattanooga, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it expand farther northeast. Places like Monticello, Williamsburg, and Harlan could easily be included as this system develops. The moisture content with this storm ranks in the 95th percentile for January. That's an anomalous amount for this time of year. Flash flood danger is something we should genuinely be concerned about as this system moves through. On the backside of this storm, we're returning to winter reality with snow as the cold front arrives. We're all going back to January weather after this storm passes, and that transition will affect everyone differently. For some, the transition means rain and severe weather, while others will experience significant snow accumulation. It's not looking like a complete blizzard, but we are seeing a 1-2 punch of decent snow from Kansas into Iowa and Wisconsin. While I'm not seeing anything that looks like a shutdown winter storm, there will definitely be accumulating snow. The latest forecasts show 2 to 3 inches across Kansas, covering both waves of snow through Wednesday, January 14th. Some of the biggest winners include Madison, Wisconsin, with potentially 5 inches of snow accumulation. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan could see 5 to 7 inches of snow as this system moves through. Here's what I want to know. Are you hoping this fall spring continues, or are you ready for real winter weather to return? I've witnessed this happen before. The energy is there. The moisture is available. We'll monitor closely to see if anything changes and we end up with a major snowstorm developing from this system. Right now, it appears to be additional snow rather than a blockbuster event, but patterns can evolve quickly. Tell me in the comments what would make this the perfect weather forecast for your specific area over the next 2 weeks. Are you enjoying this fall spring warmth, or does it feel unsettling and wrong for January where you live? Also, share what preparations you're making for the severe weather, flooding, or snow potential in your area. For those in remote areas that mainstream weather never mentions, drop your town name below. I want to hear from every corner of the country. I want to see representation from every region as this significant weather pattern unfolds across North America. This storm system perfectly demonstrates why weather patterns can be so deceptive during winter months. The fall spring we're experiencing creates the perfect setup for multiple weather hazards across different regions. From record warmth to severe storms, flooding threats to accumulating snow, this system has everything. What makes this particularly noteworthy is the rapid transition we'll see from spring-like to winter conditions. Temperature swings of 30 to 40 degrees are possible in some locations as this pattern shifts. These dramatic changes often catch people off guard, which is why staying informed becomes absolutely critical. Let me know your honest thoughts about this potentially dramatic weather week. Does it excite you or concern you more? This system showcases the incredible complexity and power of winter weather patterns across North America. From the Pacific Northwest snow to the fall spring warmth to the severe weather outbreak, it's all connected. Understanding these connections helps us better prepare for and appreciate the weather we experience. Keep monitoring forecasts closely as this system develops, especially if you're in any of the threat areas we discussed. The next few days will be crucial as this pattern unfolds and winter reality returns to much of the country. One more time, drop your exact location and tell me what weather scenario would be ideal for your area this month. If you found this forecast helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on these developing weather patterns. Your engagement helps us reach people who need reliable weather information during extreme events like this fall spring pattern. Stay safe out there, especially if you're in areas expecting severe weather, flooding, or significant temperature changes. I'll see you in the next forecast as we continue monitoring this evolving and potentially impactful weather situation.